Welcome in to the Al Smith Alfa Insurance High School Football Scoreboard Show. Get ready for all the scores and recaps from tonight's games. Let's throw it over to the boys from Northwest Georgia football, Lawrence Morgan and Benton Burge.
All right, guys, welcome in to, like she said, the Al Smith Alfa Insurance High School Football Scoreboard. I'm here tonight without Lawrence Morgan. He's actually been chained to his desk at work. So Chris Napier is here. He's going to join us and talk about the games he saw, and we're going to go over all the scores. And, hey, if you were at a ball game tonight, get on here and send us a message. And we'll get you posted. We'll call you out. And, appreciate you joining us, Chris. Welcome on.
Sir. I watched Murray County take on Coahulla Creek today, and I saw a fantastic performance. Waylon Beliles is the quarterback for Coahulla Creek, and that kid can sling it. And he slung it all night to another kid named Kobe King, 207, 3 touchdowns. Kobe King tied a school record tonight for Coahulla Creek. He tied a school record set by a guy named Manny Dominguez. I don't know if how many people's been following Northwest Georgia football, but a few years ago, Manny Dominguez was a fantastic receiver. So that's a big accomplishment for Mr. King there. Coahulla Creek beat Murray County 45-0. Could have been a little bit higher. John Bickford and Nate Perry had interceptions right there at the goal line to stop a couple other scoring drives by the Colts. So that was a fantastic performance by the Colts. North Murray went up there and just played lights out against Ringgold, 24-3 over Ringgold. North Murray is rolling. They're 7-0, first time in school history. Impressive team. Hudson Hewlett, elite player. So he's got to be in the talk. He was Georgia high school football player of the week last week, and rightly so. The kid had a fantastic game. North Murray's rolling. They're going to be tough. So I know Lawrence is really, really looking at that North Murray Rockmart game coming up. One game I'm going to be looking at is where Rockmart's going to be next week. Rockmart's going up to LFO next week. And I remember I told everybody a few weeks ago, and LFO went and beat Ringgold. That everybody looked at that as an upset, and I said it's not an upset. LFO is loaded with all-region dudes. They've got talent littered all over that roster. And if I'm a 2A school out there in Georgia, LFO is not a team I want to tangle with right now. They are gelling at the right time. I do not want to be lined up against trying to stop Jared Mitchell. That guy is fantastic, elite talent. So that is going to be a huge game to watch next week as well. Rockmart at LFO. This historically hasn't been a very competitive game, but I think you're going to see a different kind of game next Friday night. So that's going to be interesting to watch. So I've had a real fun night following high school football, watching football. So it's been fun for me tonight. Where was you at?
I was over at Christian Heritage tonight, and I saw a Charlie Baxter show, freshman quarterback, delivering the ball to all the different receivers. Hit one of his main receivers, his big tight end, Benji Mitchmerhazen. It's got to be close. A few years ago, I remember going with Lawrence to watch Christian Heritage and Armurchie, and we seen that guy, and he was young. Now he's grown up. Scored on 2 just wide open touchdown passes down the middle. Basically looked like bust, but and it had some other catches as well. Pretty good on defense as well, and a good blocker for the running game. Christian Heritage got out to a lead. It was actually 0-0 into the first. Ended up 38-0 Christian Heritage over Chattooga. So let's see here. John Minson says, any stats on Trines QB Allen? No, I don't know. I haven't looked into that game yet. Normally stats, unless somebody sends it to us, aren't available until the next day or something. We'll have to check Max Preps. Chris McKelvey says, heartbreaker for Cedartown. Played their tails off. Jacoby Dorsey had a big night for Cedartown, and the Woods kid for Dalton is a difference maker. Yep. Yeah, I agree. That Woods kid for Dalton is definitely a difference maker.
And I
like it was last-second touchdown.
Last-second touchdown, 25-20.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, I'm going to we got on a little late, and we've been chatting here. I'm going to go ahead and throw the scores up, run through them, so everybody can get a look at what's going on here. Carrollton defeats Chapel Hill 56-7. Paulding County over Osborne 34-14. East Paulding 49-20 over Alexander. New Manchester 36-0 over Villa Rica. We're still looking for a Kennesaw Mountain and South Paulding score. I've seen a couple different things. I don't want to post anything until I know. So if you know that score, holler at us and we'll get it posted. Rome big over Lithia Springs 65-0. The aforementioned Dalton over Cedartown 25-20. Southeast Woodfield gets a big win. Hanks 56 on Cross Keys, wins 56-6. Hiram win a closer game than most people thought. 10-0 win over Woodland. Cartersville 48-24 over Altoona. This one I had picked the opposite way. White County defeats Dawson County 25-20. Calhoun over Northwest 42-20. Lumpkin blanks Johnson 49-0. Adairsville goes to Ridgeland and gets a 30-3 win. Pickens 45-28 over Chestatee. North Hall 49-38 over GAC. That's kind of a bonus pick. Some of our schools play in that region, and that was I think pretty much the region championship game there. Gilmer 41-26 over Lafayette. Cahola Creek gets a 45-0 win over Murray County. North Murray keeps rolling with a 24-3 win over Ringgold at Ringgold.
Yep.
Lakeview Fort Overthorpe, LFO, goes to the Furnace and gets a 30-14 win over Snorville. Rockmart keeps rolling at North Cobb Christian with a 44-6 victory. Christian Heritage blanks Chattooga 38-0. Gordon Lee 61-0 over Armurchie. Pepperell keeps rolling. One of the hottest teams right now, 35-7 over Model. Heard County 41-20 over Darlington. Those two teams will battle later in the year. Harrelson County 26-6 over Temple. Bowden 44-7 over Mount Zion. That pretty much, I'm not going to say it sews it up, but that pretty much leans Bowden's going to win another region title here. And then Westbrook Christian, which was down at one point to Trine, defeats Trine 35-28.
Bunch of big scores there. How about Rome? 65-0.
Yeah, I've seen that. This guy says Northwest showed a lot of heart tonight against Calhoun after being down 27-6. They battled big time.
There's a big Rome football fan I used to talk Rome football with. His name's Tracy Barrett. So if anybody sees Tracy Barrett, tell him to hit us up at Northwest Georgia Football. He needs to come on the pod and talk Rome football.
Yeah, absolutely. Rome, we talked about earlier in the year, it felt like they were putting like a good half together, a good first half or a good second half, but they ain't really put two halves together. I don't know if it's level of competition or them progressing. Last week they put two halves together. This week they put two halves together. And I'm sure they had a bunch of young guys play this week. And, those teams that continue to dominate year after year, that's how they do it, man. They get these young guys reps. I've seen it over and over and over at Calhoun. Cartersville was the same way. Cedartown was like that. Carrollton, Rome, all those teams were like that. And experience is invaluable when it comes to a kid playing football. So.
Oh yeah. So
But yeah, anything else jump off the board at you? I'll go back to the top games. Obviously, Rome winning. Glad to see Southeast Whitfield get a big win.
Yeah, they needed that big win.
Pickens gets a big win. They're firmly in the playoff race there. Let's see here. I'm really impressed with Lakeview going and only giving up 14 to Snorville.
Yeah, I'm impressed with that. North Murray. Actually, those three teams right there at the bottom of the those winning side, that North Murray, LFO, Rockmont, those three teams, those are elite teams right there. So they're all going to battle each other here in the last few weeks of the season. So this is going to be very exciting to watch that. I like how those Nears play football, but Rockmart is always tough. Rockmart is historically tough. And they've won this 7-2A. I don't know how many region championships they've got in a row, but they're pretty impressive. But LFO, I'm telling you, this is an elite football team. So don't play around with these guys because, like I said, you do not want to be lined up against Gerald Mitchell. That guy is a fantastic playmaker, and the whole team is just like that. So this last 3 weeks, watching these three teams battle it out, I think is going to be very fun to watch.
Yeah, we'll look at next week's games coming up. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of good games coming up.
Yeah.
Senior Colby King sets a new school record for receiving yards in the game tonight. 5 catches, 207, 3 touchdowns, also interception, fumble recovery. I think you mentioned him earlier tonight.
Yep. First thing we talked about was Kobe King.
Yes, sir. Record-setting performance.
And we also mentioned Manny Dominguez tonight.
Manny.
He was a fun player to watch.
Absolutely. Moving on to this next page here. Just Pepperell continues to roll. Pepperell's one of those teams.
You don't want to play him right now.
Yeah. Right now, you don't want no part of the Dragons. I think it's going to be really hard, especially if you have to go to Pepperell and win.
Yep.
Austin says, will the Sonorville versus Ringo game be for the 4th seed? I'll tell you what, I haven't had time to sit down and talk about possibilities, playoffs, but I'll get with Lawrence and we'll try to get something together and we'll chat about it.
That scenario sounds very likely, though, that Snorville Ringo game.
Right offhand, yes. Let's look at see what we got here. But, let's see what.
That will be at Ringgold. Snorville goes to Ringgold next Friday.
Correct. This is 2A. So we are doing, it doesn't necessarily mean they're not in if they don't win because it's not the top 4 teams, correct?
Yep. I think it's going to change next year.
Yeah, isn't it power rankings for 1 through 3 right now? Yeah, pretty sure. So Ringo with the loss tonight, I'm not sure where they stood in the power rankings, but you can find those power rankings. They normally update by Monday afternoon. You'll find those on the GHSA website, and maybe I'll get on here and take a look at where everybody's at, and we'll start counting it down. It's crazy. It seems like it just started, and now we're talking about playoff seeding.
Yeah, and then we need to look at all the decisions that the GHSA just made and maybe do a whole show just on that to lay out all the changes coming next year.
Yeah, we kind of did a quick little snippet about it in the preview show this week, the Pick'em show, and we kind of talked about good and bad that we thought in it. it's going to be very interesting. I'm interested to see what the GHSA does with a couple of the regions because you would imagine, teams that are in the current region like Harrelson, Pepperell, Darlington, those type teams. Do you keep those in that southern region, or do you pair the Pepperell back up with the Armurchie, models,
Yeah.
Chattooga, definitely those teams. But here's a good one. Chris McKelvey says Harrelson at Pepperell next week. That
will be a good one.
That's going to be a dogfight right there. Physical game there.
Yeah, Harrison's always physical, but the way Pepperell is playing right now, it's going to be tough to knock them off.
Yeah, at Pepperell for sure. But I don't know. Harrison's kind of been the unsung hero, kind of magical this year. David Pollard giving some props to Mount Zion. Mount Zion is definitely better than I thought. And I agree. I've seen Mount Zion a few times now this year, and I think they got enough to make some noise in the playoffs. Obviously, Bowden handled them pretty good tonight, but who do they not? 3-time defensive state champ. So, I mean, value and effort, it seemed like as far as what I'm hearing there. Here's another comment. Cross Keys showed up 45 minutes late and only had 22 players. Wow. Southeast Woodfield with a big win tonight. Hey, props to Cross Keys for doing what they can with 22 players. I mean, let the kids play. Yeah, they'll win one, maybe 2 games. Yeah, I'm thinking so too. I'm thinking that's a good pick in the playoffs, depending on matchups, for sure. And those are always fun to look at those matchups once we get there. But
what game are you going to be at next week?
that is a great question. Chattooga is on bye next week. I've looked a little bit, but I haven't dove deep. I'm interested to see. I know Rome has that new Manchester team coming up, but I'm not sure if it's next week or when it is. Let me take a look at next week's schedule because I really think that could end up being a heck of a game. Rome has South Paulding next week, so probably avoid that one.
I want to stick the focus on Double A.
Go ahead.
I think this last few weeks is going to be very exciting to watch. So, as a football fan, you got to be excited for this because I think you look at North Murray, how talented they are, and then you look at the same thing with Rockmart. They're always talented, and then we've got LFO coming into the mix this year. They're just loaded with talent. So these 3 teams are getting ready to duke it out in the last few weeks, and I'm here for it. I'll be at North Murray next week, but I'll be paying a close attention to that Rockmart when they travel to LFO. I think that's going to be a dogfight.
Coming into this week, North Murray sitting there as the number 1 overall seed in the playoff rankings. Yep. Rockmart sitting at 6, Lakeview at 9, Ringo at 10. So, I mean, it sounds like Ringo is probably, not saying that they're a lot, but sitting at 10 right now in the top 32 make it. Obviously, you might go down a little bit. But.
And Ringgold's they're a tough team. Sonorville's a tough team. So I like the chances of 7 AA this year. I'm excited to see those top 3, especially North Murray and LFO and Rockmart. I want to see how this plays out. So.
You even have you have Union County at 39, and you have Coahulla sitting there at 36. With a chance as well to maybe jump in the playoffs.
Yep. String some wins together, and they can make it happen.
Absolutely. Let's see. A couple other games I'm looking at this next week. Herd is on the road at Bremen. I know Bremen's took a couple on the chin. That could be an interesting game. Herd's been pretty darn good. You know, we mentioned earlier the Harrelson at Pepperell. I mean, that one could be a really, really good one.
If you get the chance, I would definitely check out Harrelson and Pepperell. I just see how Pepperell's playing right now, how well they're playing. As they get ready to playoff, you'll see what they can do in the playoffs.
Here's some more good ones. You got Sonoraville traveling to Ringo. You got Cahola is going to be on the road at Union County. You know, we talked about Rockmart going to Lakeview, North Cobb Christian at North Murray. Those all sound like really good, you know, opportunities for really good games going forward next week. Let's see.
Where's Dalton play at?
Hold on one second. I've jumped up to 3A here. I got, let's see, Gilmer will be at Calhoun. Any other big games? Northwest will be at Adairsville.
That would be a good one right there.
Let's go on and jump up to 4A.
Knuckles is having a heck of a year.
Absolutely. Cedartown on the road at the Mighty Hurricanes at Cartersville. Cass is at Dalton next week. Talk about some competition there. Very interesting. Very interesting. Cass is sitting at 6-2. Dalton sitting at 2-6.
But with the ability to score a lot of points, anything's possible.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hiram at Altoona, that should be an interesting game. Pretty even, I think. We'll see on the numbers next week. A lot of teams, seem like a lot of teams off. I'm not seeing a whole lot. Like I said, Rome will host South Paulding. Rome's played like 40 games at home this year. I don't know how they've had a big home schedule. That Kennesaw Mountain team that we still don't have a score for, they'll be at East Paulding next week. And that pretty much winds it up as far as what I'm looking at. So let's see here. I got a few messages. Bonus score. Clinch County beat Brooks County 6-0 on a blocked field goal return for a touchdown with 2 minutes to go. Oh, epic defense. We've been seeing epic offense up here, and now we got some epic defense right there.
The kick six.
Huge game for shout out here for Justin Beasley tonight. Accounted for 3 total touchdowns, well over 200 yards against Northwest.
Yep.
Really had 4, but the penalty called back 1. Let's see here. Hey, we'll give him a little shout out. David Pollard. This guy says, tune in for the game of the week. ECI and Scraven for the region. All right. Hey, any football is good football.
Yeah, and as we get into these last few weeks of the season, you're going to start seeing some matchups that will decide regions. So if you're only going to pay attention to a few weeks of the season, these are the few weeks you want to pay attention because there's a lot decided here these last few weeks.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to pop up the scores and run through them one more time, and then we're going to saddle this bad boy up. All righty. Carrollton beats Chapel Hill 56-7. Paulding County over Osborne 34-14. East Paulding defeats Alexander 49-20. New Manchester beats Villarica 36-0. Rome 65-0 over Lithia Springs. Dalton 25-20 over Cedartown. Southeast Whitfield 56-6 over Cross Keys. Hiram defeats Woodland 10-0. Cartersville 48-24 over Altoona. White County defeats Dawson County 25-20. Calhoun over Northwest Woodfield 42-20. Lumpkin over Johnson 49-0. Adairsville over Ridgeland 30-3. Pickens holds off Chestatee 45-28. North Hall over GAC 49-38. Gilmer over Lafette 41-26. Coahulla Creek blanks Murray County 45-0. North Murray over Ringgold 24-3. LFO over Sonoraville 30-14. Rockmart over North Cobb Christian 44-6. Christian Heritage defeats Chattooga 38-0. Gordon Lee over Armurchie 61-0. Pepperell beats Model 35-7. Heard County defeats Darlington 41-20. Harrelson over Temple 26-6. Bowden over Mount Zion 44-7. And Westbrook Christian out of Alabama defeats Trine tonight 35-28.
So the congrats to a few guys we mentioned tonight. North Murray, first time being 7-0. Kobe King, heck of a night. Played great. I got a couple videos. I'll tweet them out tomorrow just so you can have them. I got one of his touchdowns. It was pretty good.
We'll be on one day this week. It'll either be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's kind of a toss-up with work schedules. But we'll be on one day this week for the previews, the Pick'em show, and we'll talk about all the good games coming up. And if you hadn't made it out to one yet this year, it's time. It's time to make it out there. Put your light jacket on and get on out and support a Northwest Georgia football player.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Until next time.
Yep. We'll see you guys.
We here at Northwest Georgia Football would like to thank you for watching. Please join us again soon.